Finally, after all this time, the Corvette C8 Z06 has came to fruition. But what do I think of it? And what are my opinions on it? Well, we're gonna get into this shortly. But first of all, let's just go over how sheeringly beautiful this car is. Because in my eyes, it truly is a fantastic piece of engineering from Chevrolet. They have broken a record with this car for making it. And it's honestly quite incredible. I mean, looking for the footage, look at this. It's a race car for the street. That's all I want to say. The Z06 is a race car for the street that you can buy and own. Yeah, Chevrolet is trying to put the world on notice with this, and certainly they have. With such a stunningly remarkable ad campaign for this car coming to fruition, I'm honestly just shook. This car has shocked me beyond belief, and I was waiting there on the live stream until 12 o'clock that it debuted, and I was not disappointed. This car is amazing. A flat plane V8. Flat plane V8, yes. That pushes out 670 horsepower, if I recall correctly. And the thing is that this is naturally aspirated. This is no supercharged or turbocharged V8 you'd find in a Dodge or any other muscle car, like a Camaro. But this is just, oh my lord, I don't even know what to say about this car. The engine is remarkable. If you hear this car blindfolded, you'd probably raise your hand and assume it's like a Ferrari. But no, just have a listen to this mighty 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8 engine just absolutely fucking stun the shit out of you, because this car is so... This car sounds so good, just listen. When I first heard this car on the stream, I was just as shocked as that girl in the video. To be honest, it sounds like a European V8. Like, oh my goodness. Like, Corvette outdid themselves with this. They didn't have to do this, but they decided to. And they came out with one of the most remarkable engines Chevrolet has ever devised. This is from a Corvette. You just heard a Corvette. Think about that for a second. Corvettes usually are big, rumbling V8s that are grunty and low revving. 77,000 RPMs tops. Maybe 8K if you're lucky. But you know how many RPMs this engine revs up to? 8,600 RPMs in a V8. An American V8, keep in mind. The Ferrari F40 Competition could go up to, I think, 8,800 RPMs. I'm not sure. I'll have to fact check that. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's actually 7,750 RPMs. But anyways, you get the example. Like, quite a bit of the Ferrari V8 just sound high revving because they're from Europe. But you usually expect American V8s to be low revving, grunty, and just overall massive engines that rumbles the whole neighborhood and gets them fucking hiding. This one does that, but they want to come outside because they think it's a fucking, they think it's a Ferrari. Look at this, LT6 flat plane crank 5.5 liter V8. This is amazing. Like, Chevrolet outdid themselves with this, with the embroidery of the seats, with the top, with everything. They outdone themselves with this V8. Carbon fiber, 670 horsepower. That's what had to happen. Wow. This car is just so like, so amazing. I think it looks swell. It definitely... I believe this car definitely has potential for when it hits the market next summer of 2022, I believe. But I think it's autumn, but I'm unsure. I'll have to check that then later too. But I think this car is going to perform very well on the road and in the hands of who the hell is going to buy these, because this is great. Honestly, like, this car is just it looks like it's going to have great handling. I'm not sure about what the Nürburgring times are for this, but I'll have to check that. But I'm expecting this probably will get, like... I think the AMG Black Series got 728 on the Nürburgring recently, so I think this might get, like, maybe 750 or 8 minutes, who knows. But I expect this thing will be fast. Definitely the C8 Z06 is going to be quick around those corners because of its mid-engine rear-wheel drive layout. Mid-engine rear-wheel drive is just the way to go, and it's a bit awkward to see this in a Corvette if you're, like, a veteran and you're new to this, because the Corvettes, usually were, front-engine rear-wheel drive and FR layout, but this kind of changed everything. I believe they stopped the front-engine layout in the C8 most recently. It went on till the C7, but... anyways, that is, I mean, it's weird to go mid-engine, but I see why Corvette is, like, why Chevrolet is doing this for more handling and more power. And even forged the pistons in a special way to have kind of, like, a more, triangular upward surface for, better combustion, I believe. Better, more even explosion of the combustion when it takes place in the combustion chamber, but they had to go through a lot to design this car, and they definitely did a wonderful job of doing that. I don't see many flaws with this. This car just can't fail. But the negative thing is that this car might be the last true Corvette we see because of electrification, so that might be an impending issue with it, but I don't think we'll see the Corvette going electric in 8 years. We might. It's very possible, because Dodge is going electric for their first muscle car by 2023, which is very disappointing. But nonetheless, the C8 Z06, I'm just going to put this out there, it's its tires. It is using the widest tires available on production cars, I believe, ever since the Countach, the 1970s Lamborghini Countach. It used extremely thick rear tires for traction because it had so much power. It just had to find a way to get that traction for what it needed, where it's going, and so it just needed it. Like, look at that throttle body, that's honestly amazing. It appears they, like, reinforced it with carbon fiber, the manifold, and the manifold and shit, but I don't know, I'll have to see. It appears to be carbon fiber, but Chevrolet designers, honestly, great job. You have successfully created a race car for the streets. Like, I can't say this about any other car, because, like, Lamborghini Huracan Performante kind of goes on that level, but it still feels like a supercar. Like Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren, they all feel like supercars, except for, like, if you're getting, like a Senna, but they all feel like supercars, and there's some that are kind of race spec, like the Huracan STO, Performante, Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, stuff like that. They feel like race cars, but, you know, like, they're not. With the C8, you really get the feeling you're driving a Corvette, but you also get the feeling you're driving a race car at the same time, because it gives the same comfortability as your average Corvette, but it also gives the same driving experience of a race car, like NASCAR. So, that's, honestly, I don't know where to go with this car, honestly, anymore. Not in a bad way, it's just that I don't know what to say about it, because this car, honestly, just amazes me so much. I don't know how to continue. So, I think that's where I'm going to leave this Z06 off on its journey, right there, and I hope this car is going to be a successor. I want to see it sell like at least 10,000 units in its first year. Yeah, 10,000. Me and you, let's hope both that. Also, let's try and get to 10,000 subs by March. We might be able to. Who knows? But let's just hope. I have hope in this channel. I'm going to start making more reviews, and once FH5 comes out, there's going to be a lot of content related to that. And that's going to be it. I'm going to wrap up the video here. So, you guys have a good day. Thank you for watching.